Hello again everyone. In this video we are going to discuss about different types of writing headlines for the print media. So there are various ways, many ways for writing headlines for the print media. But we should keep in mind that there are some basics that we need to know. We will not discuss all different ways of writing headlines obviously in this video, but I'll try to explain what are the basic things that we need to keep in mind while creating a headline for print media. So the very first thing that I would like to request everyone to look upon this headline. So this is one of the infamous headlines that was given by the New York Times on 12 September 2001. It is about the 9/11 incident, the infamous incident that got occurred that day. So we can what if we try to reflect upon this headline, we could understand that what the headline is emphasizing upon. It is not emphasizing upon the creativity of the story. It is coming directly to the content of the report. It is giving emphasis on the detailing of the event, that the infamous incident, not event, infamous incident that had occurred on that day. So the very two words used in this headline, US attacked. So here the emphasis is given on the word attacked. So in general, when we follow the grammatical rules, in general we know that before the name of any country we use the article the. But here you will not find. In fact, while creating a headline, we should not use the articles like a, n or the, because that somewhere steal the importance of the main incident, and then it gives importance upon the writing style. So many people also, or many news people who are associated with the media writings, and scholars who are related with this media thing, they actually believe that the articles like a, n or the is avoided in order to save the space of the media writing, but I don't think that is the case. The emphasis upon the incident, detailing of the incident is very important, so which is very much very clearly reflected in this headline. So it is suggested that we do not use articles like a, n or the in the headlines of any news report in case of the print media. Now, another important thing that we need to keep in our mind is, when to capitalize, what to capitalize while we write the headlines. So there are different media industries have their own ways of, writing their headlines. For example, this particular story, say it is or it was reported by the Telegraph. So they capitalizes all the and all the words of the headline: revamped Central Vista in capital to be opened on September 9. So capitalization of the words, the letters that we use in writing the headline, is also one of the important thing that as a print media reporter, a writer must keep in their mind. So as I said, that there are different ways to capitalize. So in the headline you will find that different media industries, different media outlets, they some of them will capitalize all the words, all the letters of the words that they use in their headline. But some media outlets, they do not do so. For example, say this: the New York Times, the headline is office drama. So you see that how only the first letter of both the words used for the headline is capitalized, instead of capitalizing each and every letter of both the words, right? So there are different ways of writing headlines. Different media outlets follows different rules. So capitalizing depends upon oneself, and it also signifies the emphasis that you are going to give while creating a headline for the news report. For example, this is another headline like riot FIR for FB post. For some time, it is important to look at the very common knowledge about using capital letters in general that we use. For example, for any abbreviation that we are using, we should write that abbreviation in capital letters. So in the headline you'll find that some abbreviation plays a major role. For example, here FIR, so this should be written in capital letter. Then organization, some company's name like Facebook, FB, it is also an abbreviation, and they are using it in capital letters, right? So this is how different media outlets, they create their headlines, they capitalize in different way. Some will capitalize each and every letter of every word they write in their headline. Someone will just capitalize the first letter of all the words that they use in their headline. And most of the media outlets will keep in mind that the abbreviations and the name of the organizations, name of some persons, they if they include in their headline, they must be written in capitalization. So for example, there is another headline called, from the Telegraph, piquing concern. So even here we could see that how each and every letter of both the word used in the headline is being capitalized. So this is one of the important thing that we should keep in mind, where to capitalize, and what is the importance behind capitalizing each letter, capitalizing every letter of the word, or sometime each letter of the first letter of a word. So you should have that reasoning while creating a headline. Number 3, we should be very specific while writing a headline. It should be direct, it should be straightforward, it should directly tell the story of the news report. For example, these are some of the very old headlines. The first footstep when Neil Armstrong landed on the moon for the first time. So this is how the headline went. And another one, by the side you see from the New York Times, it is the headline is given Obama, and they haven't finished the headline there, right? They have also supported this headline with a sub headline where some more detail about the headline, some more emphasis on the story has been given, that what the story is about. So it is very specific, and it is not vague, it is straightforward, it is direct about the story. For example, in this headline called Obama, here by adding sub headline to this headline, they are explaining, they are giving the pulse of the story, that they're giving the gist of the story. Racial barrier falls in decisive victory. So for what this victory is about, they're explaining that in the very headline, and hopefully the story is also about that. Then we should keep in mind that we should start writing headline, we should start with very simple thinking of how do we create headline, what should we think first, right? So we should be very simple about creating headline. We should think about the 5 W's and 1 H that we already dealt with, right, in the very first lead, in the lead of the news, that we found out that okay, this is the lead, this is the who, what, where, and how. So we should explore all these 5 W's and 1 H once again after completing the story. Headline is always written after completing the story. Never ever create a headline before completion of your story. So after completion of your story, you will have to reflect upon that which is the most important thing in your lead, amongst these 5 W's and 1 H, which is the most important thing, and you should go by that. So whether the story is a who story, or whether the story is a what story, whether the story is a breaking news, that means what is about the story, you should directly explain that in your headline. Or if it is about a personal identity in the story, then that is a who type story, and you should explain that in your headline. So this is how a headline is evaluated, and this is how a headline, creating a headline becomes a difficult task for many. Yeah, this is one of the most common thing that we have seen, and while doing so, there are so many mistakes being done in earlier days also, and even today it is being committed by many of the media outlets. So creativity, so they try to do something different in order to attract the attention of the audience, because headline is the main backbone of your story. Until and unless you make your headline catchy, you you make your headline attractive, readers will not jump into your report to read it, right? As soon as the reader will find that the headline is trying to appeal something to you, at that very moment the reader in any way will try to jump into your story, and then uh, complete and finish reading the story itself, right? But in doing so, many of the media outlets, they use puns. Now what is puns? Puns is a humorous way of writing headline. It is also considered to be a satiric way of creating headlines. So sometimes such kind of headlines can mislead the readers. Such kind of headlines can misinterpret the story. It can have different meanings. So using a word that may have similar connotations of different meanings. So this should be avoided while writing a headline. These are some of the examples that I have gathered from different sources in the internet. You'll find that Obama beats Weiner. So this is something like this is about an election where I'm thinking, I hope that where Obama might have won the seat against Weiner, so which should have been reported in that direct way, but it was reported in this way, that Obama beats Weiner. Where somewhere some reader uh, will jump into it, and they will try to find out what is the crux of the story, and they will realize that, oh, it's not about physical abusing, it's not about physical fighting, it is something about election. So somewhere at the very first glimpse of the headline, we should keep in mind that headline should not mislead any reader. Yeah. uh, Next headline, you can find it here, bean bagged, right? So the basic gist of the story, or what the headline is trying to say us is, should be about bin Laden was killed in US raid, right? So this is one of these are different humorous ways how the headlines are created, and they confuse the readers. So these kind of using of pun words should be avoided while creating headlines. Use of alliteration is another way of making headlines creative. Alliteration, what do you mean by alliteration? Alliteration means very similar sound word you are using for your headline. So sometime for example, uh, she she sang well, she sing a song. So where you can notice that in each of these words, the very first letter of the words are similar s, and they go by the same sound. So most of the headlines also use alliteration. So this is one of the way to create an create an attention in order to attract the reader. So this depends upon the creativity of the news writer, and this do not have any negative impact upon the reader, whether rather this is one of the possible ways through which one can attract the readers directly into their report. So these are some of the examples you can find. Magical Murray, where m and m, it goes by similar sound, m, right? Second one is worldwide what, So www. So these are some of the similar sounds. Through the use of similar sounds also we can create headlines. So this is all about creativity, right? So yeah, I think I'm at the end of the slide. So this is one of the headline. It was being put by weekly in tabloid size newspaper News of the World, which had already extended 163 years of its service, and it was saying goodbye to its readers, means it was going to shut down its service. uh, you know so this is how they created their headline at the very last headline that they created for that edition. Thank you and goodbye. So uh, these are some of the basic things that we should keep in mind while creating a headline. But apart from this, as I said, that there are many ways of thinking, in order to create a headline. But these are some of the basic things that we should keep in mind. So thank you everyone. So I will try to cover some other topics in my next videos. Thank you.